Hello everyone, welcome to our class of business statistics. In this class, we are going to discuss about graphical determination of measure of central tendency, which is a part of descriptive statistics. In the previous class, we discussed about the mode and we learned about the methods of computation of mode, in which we learned about the computation of mode for ungrouped data. Then we learned about the computation of group data. And then when we learned that mode is the value which is occurring in our data set more often. It is a value that has the highest frequency. Now we have already learned that, and now we want to learn how which type of graph is suitable for which kind of measure of central tendency. So we will be focusing on the graphical determination of mean, median, and mode. Okay. And we have already have the feel of it while we discussed about the ogive, where we try to determine the median using the ogive. In the previous class, we will be carry forwarding the graphical determination process in this class also. So, as we have already started as we are discussing descriptive statistics, and we have already started discussing about the measure of central tendency, and we discussed about the computation of mean, then we discussed the computation of median, and then we discussed about the computation of mode. In this class, uh, we are focusing on the graphic uh, graphical determination of all these three. So they have their own properties. Mean, mathematical mid, median is positional mid, and mode is the highest frequency. These things we will be learning more in the coming classes. So let us not focus more on it. Okay, coming to the visualization part. For when you're handling the continuous data, which type of graph is good? Bar chart or histogram? Histogram is good, right? When you're handling the discrete data or a categorical data, then bar charts are good. So we discussed about the bar chart, about the pie chart, about the ogive curve or the curve in what? In our lectures of presentation of data. What I'm concerned here is about whether we can calculate mean, median, or mode through the graphs. In the previous class, we learned that we can calculate the median using ogive, where you are going to plot the cumulative frequency on y-axis, values on x-axis. So for each class, you're going to point their cumulative frequency and then you're going to connect it. So this is ogive. Okay. So what you need to do to find out the median graphically, we learned that we have to find the n by 2 value, where n is number of observation. In case it is a group data, then it becomes a frequency. If it is ungrouped data, then this is actually a number of observation. So if I say number of observation are 10, then 10 by 5 is like 10 by 2 is 5. So 5 will be my median. In this case, if I assume that my n is 40, n by 2 is 20. So I can say this 20 is, so I have to look for 20 here, not in this. 10, 20, 30, 40. So this will be my median. So you have to mark 20 here and then you have to drop it there. This point where it will touch your x-axis will be your median. Okay. And if you have to calculate the median using the histogram, then what you can do, so if you have the histogram with you, can you calculate the mean from it? You have to do the calculation. But if your data seems to be normal, then you can say your mean is somewhere in this range. You have to take, if your data is symmetrical, you can directly find out the mean because your all of your measures, mean, median, mode, are equal. Thereafter, you have, therefore, you what you have to do to find out the mean graphically, you have to look for the highest frequency bar. And in the highest frequency bar, you have to find out the value which is there on x-axis. This will be your mean. But if your data is skewed, you cannot find out the mean using histogram. But if your data is normal, you can find out mean using median and mode because they are equal, right? For the skewed data, whether you can determine mean, median, mode using any graphical method. Bar chart is not suitable. Histogram is not suitable. What about curve? Curve will tell you whether your data is normal or not. If your curve will be somewhat like this. How you have created a curve? You have taken a midpoint of your histogram and you have connected the dots placed at the midpoint of the histogram. It will give you some shape. If your distribution is of like this shape, then this is symmetrical. You can find out mean, median, mode graphically. If not, then you cannot find out uh, mean on the basis of median or mode. One of the way to find out mode is the tally diagram, which is there on your screen. How we prepare the tally chart? We usually take the frequency of the number. Suppose I have 5 numbers. Say income level 1000, 2000, 3000. This is income level, income, right? And the frequency is like 5, 3, and this is 8. So what you have to do, you can take line 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can cross it. It will take the group of 5. So you can represent this as 5, but if there are 3, you just need to draw 3 lines. And if you have to take the frequency of 3000, then you can do it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one group, and then 3 remaining, 1, 2, 3. If it is like 13, then what you have to do? For 12, then you have to take one group, 5, another group, 5, 10, and then 2 more, 12. This is suitable to find out the mode simply by looking at which is having the high number of groups. You can find out what? The mode. But can it be a measure for me? Obviously not. And this is also not suitable when you have the very high frequencies. The value frequency is very high because then you need a lot of tally huge tally charts, right? Lot of lines you need to draw a tally chart, and this will take a lot of space and time. So it is not suitable for that. So the value of the highest frequency in this case is your mode. You can find out the mode, but you cannot find out the mean. And what about median? Even it is not suitable for finding out the median. Histogram, obviously, histogram is a popular measure. Through histogram, we can find out mean, median, mode, all if it is symmetrical, but you cannot find out Mean if it is if it is not symmetrical. But can we find out the mean at all with the histogram? Then we need to do a calculation, right? We can find out what you need to do a calculation. It is not as simple that as like just looking at the diagram, you can find out what the mean is if it is not given or mentioned on your graph. Then another measure is like box and whisker plot. This box and whisker plot condenses the entire distribution into 5 number summary, making it easy to spot the median and deduct the outlier graphically. So it is handling the outlier. So on the left hand side, the minimum or the lowest value is the end, whiskers end. Then you have the Q1 lower quartile, then you have the median, then you have the upper quartile Q3, then you have the maximum value, highest value, which is the rightest end of the whisker. And in between lies a median, and you can find out IQR, interquartile range, which is nothing but what? Quartile 3 minus quartile 1. And this IQR is actually represent the width of the box. So this is width of the box. Correct? So it represents the middle 50% of the values. This represent the middle 50% of the values, which is actually the property of IQR to identify the middle 50% of the values. So any point beyond 1.5 into IQR from the box, 1.5 into interquartile range value from the box is flagged as outlier, is known as outlier. So you can find out the outlier if outlier is there. And how you can find out the outlier? By using this root 1.5 times of IQR. If any value is crossing this limit, then outlier is there. So you would be avoiding mean, and you would be using median instead of mean. If it is with all the values are within this, then there are no outlier, then you can go for mean for estimation of central tendency. So what are the advanced application? Obviously, there are a lot of application of all the three measure of central tendencies for advanced mathematical calculations. Mean is very suitable for algebraic expressions, for equations, equations. Everywhere this is suitable. Median has its own importance. In medical industry, it is widely used, and in ratings and satisfaction level measurement, this median is very good, and we are using it where mean is not a suitable measure, right? And mode is highly used in the industry. Let it be the product industry is specifically, or let it be shoes, let it be shirt, let it be other product, where you are concerned about which type of product is more liked by the people. Their mode will help you. So it has a very 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 wider application, and you have to be very careful about using each type of measure, because uh, uh, if you have selected a wrong measure of central tendency, then entire of your exercise based on that particular measure of central tendency will be futile. So all the calculation will give a wrong picture. So you need to be very carefully use all this, and that's why measure of central, I mean measure of spread to have a relevant relevance while we are going for advanced statistical testing, because without verifying whether a particular measure is suitable or not, we shouldn't use it for statistical analysis. We, because we are if we are going to do this, then we are going to draw a wrong conclusion that may lead to disaster. Okay, so strategic data selection, nominal data, mode is good, skip data, open-ended, median is good, nominal distribution, normal distribution. For normal distribution, mean is a suitable measure. So data tells a story, numbers alone are incomplete. Always ask which measure of center is the best representing your data set. And then you need to look into your look at your measure of central tendencies result with what measure of dispersion. So you have to take both the values together to find out the actual picture. It will give you a complete context, and you can obtain a better result if you merge both the measure of central uh, both the measure of descriptive statistics together. This will also give you an idea about the type of distribution you are having, and accordingly you can take the decision. So graphs like frequency table, histogram, box plot are your toolkits, and it will do what you want them to do. It will show what you want to show. It will hide what you want to hide from the people. But actually, for a better output or better result, you need to select even the graphs properly with care. If you are manipulating it, then obviously the entire crux of statistics will not give you any good, will not help you, right? So this is all for today. Uh, we will in the next class we will be covering a comparative analysis of all the three measures of central tendency, and thereafter we will be moving for measure of dispersion. So for this week, up till now, what we learned about in this week we learned about median, the concept of all these mean, median, and mode. Especially we focused on median and mode because in the previous week we covered about mean, and then we learned about how to estimate or compute the median and mode for grouped and ungrouped data respectively. Then we move to the graphical method which we discussed today, and in the next class we will be covering the comparative analysis. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for listening. See you in the next class.